Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking and being very shy, I do have to open with a story of why you're here, because I don't know how many of you have ever attended a salon, and that's what it is. It's when creative people all gather together to present to other creative people and to their nearest and dearest their latest creation. Artists did it for years with Gertrude Stein. She was the center where Picasso and Braque and Dali would all come together and share. So this is a salon. We will have no complaints about the seating and what you paid for. About years and years ago, I began, which you all, many of you may be aware of the fact, the Bible is really my lifeblood. And years ago, I found that painting and drawing the Bible was not enough for me. If I was going to do an image of the Garden of Eden and the animals, I had to write something. And I wrote volumes of stuff. But probably half the people in this room have poetry that they've written, or nobody knows someone that's written it. But there was never a venue that I found right to present it. Because for me, one of the dullest things in the world is a poetry reading, and I don't care who's doing it. And somebody suggested years ago in Israel, why don't you do it to a guitar? And that's real 1960s, and rather limited. Ellen and I were in Israel. This is just a year ago, and we took our apartment as we do, looking out over the Mediterranean Sea, and I started a series of 100 watercolors. It took 2 trips to do them, and they were a whole new technique for me, using silhouettes rather than actually detailing faces. And somebody suggested that since we were moving our longtime museum in the city of Tzfat to Beersheba, that we see a wonderful show at the Tel Aviv Museum. And Ellen and I took off to the Tel Aviv Museum to see a show by one of the founders of Israel Art, a sculptor. The show was very good, and we got some ideas, but we noticed there was a little side room. We went into that side room, and all of a sudden it was very interesting. There were these little dioramas, these little plastic boxes, with figures of dancers about this high, and there was a miniature in each one of the 12 boxes of the sculptor's work with these little ballet figures, and you looked above it, and there was a video of modern dancers dancing around the pieces, through the pieces, so that now music and dance and art had come together. The only thing that were missing now was the poet. Ellen and I looked at each other and we knew exactly what would be a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. And tonight is the culmination of that. We ran home, got Lisa Howard, one of our closest friends, and said, guess what you are? You're a choreographer. And where are we going to find our dancers? And they came out of heaven. And I will tell you, in all honesty, that nobody could have done a better job with the choreography. It's wonderful. What we'll do with it after tonight, that's all the dancers in the back. and it's real. It's been an act of love, and it's been a lot of hours, and et cetera, et cetera. So here's the title. This exemplifies the word chutzpah. The name of the show is Genesis. From the original book by God, music by Johann Sebastian Bach and a few others, choreographer Lisa Howard, art and poetry by Philip Radner. I thought putting my name with God and Bach and I thought that really kind of worked. So, please be our guest for a one-time experience, and maybe we'll take it to Broadway.